Me and my brothers kids like any other pair of siblings, getting into fights, yelling, hitting, trying to get the other in trouble, slamming doors, pranks, trying to be better than the other, and just everything else siblings could do. We'd hate each other at times, but still look out for each other. Wish the other would get hurt, but panic when they really did. And even though there's a 5-year difference between us, we were still close. What in your life made you feel like you should start using drugs?
Well, whenever I was in middle school, I didn't really talk to a whole lot of people. I felt secluded and out of place, I guess. So whenever I got in high school, my best friend Jordan, he was like, "Hey, try and smoke this weed with me." And I was like, "Sure, why not?" So I did it, and then started talking to more people, and I mean, everybody was doing it. So I did it, and I started talking to more people and got invited to more stuff, and felt like I belonged somewhere. So I started smoking weed, and then eventually moved on to some other stuff.
How did you end up in jail?
It was in 2014, and I started whenever I was 13 or 14. So I was 18, so I was already on to some other stuff. So me and Jordan and some other people was popping pills for a few days, and I don't remember 3 or 4 days. And then one night we was like, "Hey, let's go car hopping." So we went somewhere and broke into a bunch of cars, and somebody called in, said there was some suspicious activity, and they showed up, and we got arrested because we was on pills.
How long were you in jail?
Which time?
Um,
You want all my times together?
sure.
Um, about every time I've been to jail, close to a year and a half to 2 years.
What was it like in jail?
It sucked. Uh, well, they give you these orange Crocs, and you have to wear them in the shower because the shower is so nasty. You're in a cell with like sometimes 30 other dudes, and sometimes you got to sleep on the floor because all the bunks are taken, and it gets really loud, and the food is terrible. You don't get to eat enough, so a fat boy wouldn't be able to live in jail. And they come in at some nights and they shake you down. They turn on the lights, they wake everybody up, tell you to get out of your cell, and they go through all your stuff and just wreck the cell, see if they find any contraband like drugs or needles to make tattoos with or anything like that. And then if they find something, you have to go to the hole, which sucks. And yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible.
How did you feel when you found out that you were getting out of jail?
Each time was the same. I was excited and glad to get out and knew I was gonna go get high. Except for the last time I got out of jail. And the last time I got out of jail, I was in Building 3 and I was a state inmate. So technically, the state of Kentucky owns me, and I have a Department of Correctional Facility number. So I'm a number in the state of Kentucky if they were to look me up. And I was in Building 3, which is the state inmate side where you get to go to work on the road crew, and the kitchen where you cook all the food for the inmates. And I was in the kitchen with the rest of the people in there who was serving dinner, and a guard came in there. He was like, "Hey, come here, I need to talk to you." I was like, "What?" He was like, "You're going back to Building 1." I was like, "For what? I didn't do nothing," because Building 1 is terrible. You'd rather be in Building 3. Yeah, there's PlayStation, Xbox, all that stuff. But anyways, jail's bad anyways. But he was like, "You're going back to Building 1." So I was like, "Why? I didn't do nothing." I was so tore up. But then I went back, I started packing my stuff. He was like, "Nah, man, I'm just joking. I got your release forms right here." And I was so excited. And we get our own small little TV too, and it was plugged into the wall still. I was so excited, I almost ripped the TV out of the wall on the way to the door. And so whenever we got outside, he started asking me all some questions just to make sure I am who I am. So then I got over to the main building. They was like, "All right, well, here's your release forms. You need to sign this because you're getting shocked out to drug court." I was like, "Okay." So I signed it, and I was sitting there waiting, so excited. Felt like I had butterflies for like an hour. I called somebody and they picked me up, and now I'm here.
What are all the things that you had to do after getting out of jail? Like programs or something?
Uh, well, whenever I first caught my felonies, where we was car hopping, we went to jail. They I had court and they put me on a diversion, which I was on probation. And I was on probation for like 2 months. I had to go see him once a month to take a drug test, and I knew that. But I just kept on smoking weed because I didn't care. I was like, what are they going to do? They ain't going to do nothing. So I kept on smoking weed, and then, so that failed, and I went to jail, and then I got out, and they put me on pre-trial, basically on house arrest. And one day I never stayed at my house, and then one day I left, and the cop showed up, and I wasn't there. So then I went back to jail whenever I had court. I got out. I was riding around one night with some friends and hit a roadblock, and I had some unpaid fines, so I had warrants out. And I went to jail, and I thought I was going to be out in 2 weeks and serve my $50 a day and get out in 2 weeks. But little did I know, I ended up spending 7 months, and then whenever I got out, they put me on drug court, and I've been on drug court for almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in May.
How are you doing now, and is there anything that you still struggle with?
I'm doing good. Been clean for almost 2 years. I bought my own truck, subs, amp, a little other odd and end things, clothes, some games for my Xbox, stuff like that. Because whenever I was using, all my money went to drugs. But now, since I don't have any, I can afford things, and I can think more clearly, um, more motivated, better decision making skills. Um, what I struggle with, drug court sometimes, they got me running around in circles, but that's about it.
What did you learn going through all this?
I learned that drugs are not worth it. You can do a lot more when you're sober. Keep a job, think straight, be yourself. People start to trust me now. And if you don't do anything bad, the cops won't be out looking for you. You won't have to look over your shoulder. Learn respect, self-will, a conscience. I have a conscience now. I learned it's better to just be sober and do the next right thing. Because if you keep doing the next right thing, then everything will work out for you. And God will keep looking out for you. Even when you think you're not going to make it, He'll be like, here you go. He'll help you out. And you'll be like, wow, that was awesome. So I've learned a lot of stuff.
Is there anything else that you want to say?
Yes. So all you listening that are still in school, do good, try hard, don't use drugs because they lead to nothing but jails, institutions, and death. And they cost a lot of money, so I hope you're rich. The court costs, fines, time on the phone if you want to talk to your family, which is 25 cents a minute, by the way. Commissary, jail fees, drug testing fees if you have them, meetings you might have to go to. So it costs a lot of money. It costs more money to stay in trouble than it does stay out of trouble. And I promise if you keep just doing the next right thing, good things will happen for you. You won't have to worry about tomorrow, just worry about today, and tomorrow will take care of itself. And don't worry about the big things. they'll take care of themselves. Just worry about the little things. Little things are what get you caught up and get you in jail. Just don't be dumb. Don't use drugs. They're bad for you. Later.
Even though my brother did things he's not proud of, I look up to him and respect him because he takes full responsibility for what he's done. We're also closer now than we were a few years ago, and I can honestly say that I'm proud of the fact that he's gone through all this and came out as good of a person as he is today.